Welcome back. All right, so we've got 3 games tonight, 2 that are finished. I'll be able to review this one now, and I'll be able to review the second game in about an hour, because once I'm done this review, we'll be getting into the second period of Colorado and St. Louis, which has been a spirited affair thus far, and, it's kind of turned out the way that I thought the playoffs would when we saw the whole format at the start of the season. These teams really know each other, and they really don't like each other. And Washington versus Boston tonight, you'll notice I changed the Boston magnet. I changed the Washington bumper sticker. Actually, I have another bumper sticker for Washington as well. But it was Rask versus Anderson tonight. And Craig Anderson, I have to say, honestly, great performance for a goaltender who sat a lot of this season and who was seen as old and washed up at the end of last year in Ottawa. Kudos to him for a really good game tonight. So Ovechkin was dangerous early. Mantha shot one wide. Anthony Mantha had a great game. Prime chances for the Caps in the first 2 minutes. Chara flattened Corrali. And then Miller laid a hit on Sprong, as both teams pretty physical, although the hits were a little lower than they were in the last game. Things get scrummy already. This is about 3 minutes into the game. There was a 2-on-1. Dowd was denied. And the shots were 7-1 in favor of the Caps 3 minutes into this game. So the Caps came out ready. Anderson then stops a McAvoy shot, but at 5:05, DeBrusk continues to look like the regular season is not a problem. In the postseason, for him anyways, Coyle and Ritchie with the assists on that. Anderson was out of the net too, so he was out of the net to cut down the angle. So, all right, well, I'll just go around the net and throw it to DeBrusk then, says Coyle. And it was an easy goal, but they all count the same. And yeah, go around, pass it in front. Lazar then ended up in his own bench on a hit, so that drew some laughter from the Caps fans. Raffl had a net drive that drew a capital power play. I didn't think Raffl was as prominent tonight as he was in the last game, so still waiting on a goal out of him. But during the power play, they do score on it. It's Oshie who scores from Ovechkin and Karlsson at 6:31, and that was only 12 seconds into the power play. So the Capitals, pretty darn convinced that they're able to get things done, special teams wise, in this game. Capitals then press for the league. Rask saved a shot from Jensen. Then Bergeron from Pastrnak at 9:21. Pastrnak with the turnover, gets it to Bergeron. Bar down. Nice goal. No chance for Anderson on that one. And the thing with this is Bergeron had no shots in the first game. Comes out and gets a goal in the second game. Love Bergeron's effort. Caps then tried to answer. The shots favored the Caps, but the score favored the Bruins. As this period rolled along, the shots would start to favor Boston as well. Marchand was in the midst of a scrum, poked at Anderson's glove. They didn't like that. The Caps didn't like that. And Marchand did this tonight. He went at the goalie a bit and tried to knock the Capitals off their game. Anderson made a save. Things get scrummy again. The Bruins go to a power play. Ref, you suck. Chance, start up. I think we've heard that in every single game. I don't think it hurts the referee's feelings when he expects it every single game. Pastrnak had a shot that was stopped. Marchand, with a little poke, causes a scrum again. And then Marchand ends up with a roughing call. We end up with 4-on-4, then a Caps power play. Rask saves an Ovechkin shot. And then it's Hathaway from Orlov and Eller at 16:42 in a deflection, sent at 5-hole, and ties up the game at 2. Anderson then stopped a chance for Riley, who has yet to get his first game in a Boston jersey. He didn't have any goals during the regular season at all. Sherry and Riley then had a bit of a wrestle, and it's one of those things, too, where the referee sees it. You guys done? You done? No? All right, well, I'll just blow the whistle and send you both to the box. So there's been a lot of that going on in these playoffs, and I get it. And while fans may not like why is it a 4-on-4? Because the referee wants to take one from each team so that he's not having an influence on the end results of the game. And that's with 9 seconds left, we get that 4-on-4. So second period, early press by the Bruins during that 4-on-4. Mantha then missed his second prime chance of the night. So Mantha, prominent, just not able to get it to go. Oshie couldn't bury one. Wilson shoots one high. Mantha then gets a shot. Jensen couldn't bury the rebound. And it was one of those ones, too, where Mantha is kind of trying to score, but in reality, you're taking that shot knowing that rebound comes off the pad. There's a really good chance for a goal on the rebound. Hagelin, then with a wraparound, that wouldn't go. And the ref, you suck, chant starts at the half. This is after Hall nearly got a break, draws a Bruins power play. Pastrnak misses one wide, throws the next one through the crease. Caps would kill it off. Only one shot on the power play for Boston, but again, the ref you suck chant starts at around the halfway mark because they wanted a Boston penalty after that. Riley around the net, fires one wide. Pastrnak couldn't get one. A lot of opportunities for Pasta tonight. Sprong then poke checked by Rask. Clifton crashes the net as chances were happening both ways. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 again. Wilson was called for embellishing, and I'm sure if you're a Caps fan, you will deny that he embellished at all. Having looked at the replay, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how, and this, I've argued this in videos before. I'm not being inconsistent here at all. If you are going to argue that player A trips player B, you shouldn't be able to argue player B embellished the trip. Unless he does like 3 or 4 rolls when he hits the ice and screams, why, and, has blood packets spraying out of his chest. I mean, I just don't understand how you can embellish falling down when the guy trips you. So that's me. But again, I understand what they're trying to do. They're just trying to make sure this stays under control and that they're not seen as influencing the outcome, even though you can argue that does influence the outcome. So he goes to the box. Caps were needling Marchand plenty. However, Marchand brought a smile to my face with this. He was playing the good old-fashioned who me. So Mantha's here. Marchand's here. The referee's here. Marchand has his stick up, and he's plunking Mantha on the shoulder. He's not hitting him hard enough to injure him. He's not hitting him hard enough to send him to the emergency room. He's not. It's no different than, a little brother having a stick, and while he's talking to his mother, just, whacking the big brother with the stick kind of thing. Eventually, the referee's like, look, I see that. You're going to the box. So I got a chuckle out of it. I did. But at the same time, when Marchand's doing this kind of thing, it can be a sign that you're getting to him as much as he's getting to you. So he goes to the box. And, of course, he is a main part of the Bruins' attack. So when he's in the box, you're hurting their attack. So there you go. Yeah, so that happened. And then Bruins had a 2-on-1 broken up by Karlsson. Great play by John Karlsson. Anybody who says that he can't play defense needs to watch that play. Things get scrummy, more penalties. Smith and Jensen both get roughing minors. So again, it's, you guys going to break it up? Nope. Okay, you're both going. And they could have called about 4 penalties on both players. Hooking, slashing, roughing, unsportsmanlike. You could have just thrown like 12 minors at him. Marchand then out of the box. He has a chance that's saved. Hall fires one high. Anderson was becoming the story as this period went along. Boston played very, very well. Great road period, but we're still tied at 2 after 2. So we go to the third. Eller not playing, so the Caps have to line shuffle in the third period. He actually exited the final 5 minutes of the second period. Caps then end up with a power play. Mantha's shot was saved by Rask. Ovechkin had a slapper blocked by Miller. That looked like it hurt. Mantha couldn't bury a rebound. The Bruins would kill it off. Hall then, guilty of a trip. The Caps get their 4th power play. They were 1 for 3 to this stage. Rask saves an Ovechkin shot. Bruins managed to kill it off. There's only 2 shots on it. And then Hathaway ties it not long after that's over. He scores from Orlov and Hagelin at 7:04. And What Is Love was playing from Hathaway? So you can't hear What Is Love and not do the Roxbury. I can't because I'm old. I understand for younger people, maybe that's not as much of a thing. But to me, What Is Love? You have to do the Roxbury. And Hathaway with his second goal of the game. And honestly, I've loved Hathaway's game for years, so seeing him with 2 goals in the playoffs, it makes sense. This is a chippy series. Hathaway's going to get a goal. They're up 3-2. And Krejci then tried to answer. Smith had a chance go wide as the Bruins tried to get it going. They'd been outshot to that point in the period 9-1. And then they just turned it on. And this is something Boston did a few times tonight, where they just turned it on, and the Caps didn't necessarily have an answer for it. Dowd blocks a Bergeron shot. Ovechkin steals one in Boston's zone, but it's cleared. The Caps were checking the Bruins a lot of body checks for the Capitals in that third period. Mantha led the Caps in shots. I think he had 7 to that stage of the game. So Anthony Mantha's been a really solid pickup for the Washington Capitals. Hall had a chance steered aside. He then had another chance that was steered aside. And it was interesting because up until here, I thought the second line for the Bruins had been quiet. And I thought, between games 1 and 2, I thought, if Hall doesn't have a point through games 1 and 2, we're starting to get a bit of a conversation here that those who will deny that Hall has an effect on a game will start to have ammo if Hall's not able to get a point in either of the first two games, and if the Bruins lose both, right? So Bruins are starting to play desperate. DeBrusk gets denied. Hall fires one wide, and then Hall kind of ticked me off. He tried to go through Orlov, but there were like 4 red jerseys around him. Find somebody to pass it to. Just back off a little bit. I thought he was trying a little bit too much to be cute with it. However, while the Caps clear it, the next time Hall's on the ice, he gets a goal. And it was a play he started. He threw it at the net, and then he finishes it. Craig Smith with the assist at 17-11. I was mildly surprised that the Caps didn't challenge for goalie interference. There were enough plays around that net that I thought, if Peter Laviolette decides to challenge this, he might get this goal taken off the board. But if you don't, it's a tie game, and then you're killing a penalty with less than 3 minutes left. So they didn't challenge it. I'm not saying it would have been overturned, but I'm saying other coaches might have thought about it. Definitely in a time in the NHL where you're just giving up your timeout, that would have been challenged. But where it's a penalty, it's not. DeBrusk was then denied. Scrumminess happens, but we go to overtime. Overtime did not last. Here I was settling in, going, all right, so it's overtime. I even left room at the bottom of the board. I thought, okay, overtime, I got to leave room for a bunch of stuff that's going to happen. Marchand scores on the first shot. He scores from Grzelcyk and Krejci at 39 seconds, and I will admit, I played shipping up to Boston. That is what I've done when Boston's won playoff games for well over a decade. I want to say it dates back to 2009 that I've been playing shipping up to Boston every time they win a playoff game. So they win it 4-3 in overtime. They don't get swept in this one. They tie the series at 1, and now they're going home. This was such a key game. If they lose this game, the Capitals could have really put a stomping on them in this series. But Boston ties it up, and they outplayed Washington for large portions of this game. So the shots were 18 apiece in the first period, as neither team knew how to play defense. Second period, the shots were 15-9 in favor of Boston, 14-12 in favor of Boston in the third, and they had the only shot in the overtime. If you're going to get Craig Anderson across the finish line, this is not how you do it. You don't allow 48 shots, although the Capitals had 39. So both teams, 87 shots in total in 60 minutes and 39 seconds of action. Bruins go 0 for 2 on the power play. Caps go 1 for 4. Hits were 36-30 for the Capitals. Block shots 19-15 for the Capitals. Tuukka Rask saves 36 out of 39. Anderson saves 44 out of 48. You have to think for Game 3, that should be where Samsonov comes back, although Vanacek is day-to-day, so we'll see. But this was a very entertaining game. Very entertaining game, and I'm not saying that just as a Bruins fan. I was fine with them losing this one if they had to. I was like, well, if this is what's going to happen, if we're going to have this whole Hall narrative start up. But Taylor Hall comes up with the game-tying goal, and then it's Marchand with the game winner, which I'm sure will be universally loved, respected, and no? Okay, all right. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happen upon this video. And yes, when playing street hockey, I might, take my stick and just tap a guy here and there and just kind of tap. And I'm not talking about like swinging. I'm not, but it was something when I saw it, I thought, I can identify with that. The whole just tapping him. You're trying to make him flip out. And I think what Marchand was trying to do there was he was trying to make Mantha kind of lose it and maybe draw a power play. But anyways, thank you guys so much for all your support. Like I said, 2 more games to review before the night's out. And then I'm done for tonight. It's going to be a busy week. There's a lot of games being played this week. And then starting next week, we get into fewer games because teams are going to start being eliminated. Series are going to start being finished. And there'll be a lot fewer series to follow. Thank you guys again. I will talk to you very soon.